basic dating etiquette. How does a young woman or young man behave on their dates? So let's start with the women's side. Here are some suggestions to help you make a good impression on the man that you're dating. Number one, don't chase him. Again, don't chase him. Promising relationships can be cut short if a woman makes the man she's dating uncomfortable by pursuing him or prematurely expressing her feelings for him. You have to maintain your modesty. When it comes to dating, men need to feel that they are the pursuer. That means that they do the asking out and they do the calling during the early and middle stages of a courtship. Number two for a woman in proper dating etiquette, don't bring desperation and bitterness along on your date. If you are angry, disappointed, or feeling desperate, you could inadvertently be projecting these feelings on your dates and scaring off someone who might be right for you. You have to come in with a positive outlook and to not speak at all about previous relationships, especially if they're negative or won't lead to anything constructive. 3, don't think of the date as being over before it started. You may have had a hard day and are in no mood to go out, but it's too late to ask to make it another evening. You've been able to talk yourself into things before, and you can talk yourself into this date too. Take a quick rest. Have a cup of coffee. Freshen your look. And tell yourself that the man or young man may be a great person. If not for you, then for someone who's one of your friends. Know how to end a date that's getting too long. When a date seems to be going well, the man you're with may lose track of time. Or he may worry that if he ends the evening the wrong way, you'll get offended and not want to go out again with him. Or he may be enjoying himself, even though you don't feel the same way. It may be a good idea for you to diplomatically let him know that it's time to wrap things up because you need to get home. You can say the following: I'm having a nice time, Yosef or Shimon, but it's already 12:30 and I have to be up early tomorrow. I got to get to work. Most men will get the hint and appreciate your diplomacy. So that's for the women's side of what's considered proper dating etiquette. Now let's address the issues from the side of the man. What is proper dating etiquette for a man? You want to make a good impression on the woman you're with. Here are some suggestions to help your date realize that you are a genuine mensch, you're a good guy. Number one, let her know where you're going for your date. That way, she can feel that she's dressed appropriately. Let her know if you're doing something informally or formally. If your date is inappropriately dressed for what you've planned, her level of discomfort may derail even the most promising shidduch. You can't take her for bowling if she's dressed up to go to a very fancy restaurant with high heels. Let her know in advance what the venue and where the venue of the date will be. Number two for a young man, food is important. It isn't a great idea to go out for a 3-course meal on the first date. It's easier to break the ice with some new, less formal setting. But it's important to include some kind of refreshment on every date, either coffee, dessert, or drinks, or in the middle of your activity suggest, let's get something to drink or eat. What can I order for you? If you're planning to take her out for dinner, say so when you arrange the date, so she won't eat beforehand. And if you planned a 1.5-hour cocktail date, which turns into a long animated conversation, be a gentleman and offer, I can't believe how the time has flown. There's a nice cafe a few blocks from here. Why don't we get something to eat? Number 3, your grooming is important as a young man. After a long day at work, shower, shave, and wear fresh clothes. Your date will notice, even if you don't. Next, do advanced planning. You'll make a good impression if you appear to have covered all your bases. Know where you're going and how to get there. Carry enough money and credit cards so you don't have to stop at an ATM, and have an alternate plan in case the place you've selected has an unexpected closure. Don't keep the young woman waiting in your car while you rush to daven mincha. That's not appropriate. That's not nice. That's not respectful to her. And if you're planning to pick up your date and you don't have a car, it's a good idea to have a taxi wait at the curb while you go inside to meet her. Number 4, always be a gentleman. Okay, her looks are not what you expected, or whatever you've been told about her is totally off. It's still important to be courteous, and it's still important to be polite and finish the date properly. Next, make sure the young woman gets home safely. If you've picked her up, you're responsible to take her home, or at the very least, get her into a taxi and pay for the fare. If you've arranged to meet, ask her how she's getting home. That's called appropriate behavior. Take her to the bus or train stop and wait with her until it arrives. If it's late or public transportation is infrequent or far away, it's appropriate for you to drive her home or get her a cab. And last but not least, follow up with consideration. If you don't think you're going to ask her out again or take her for another date, just make sure that you inform her or the shadchan. It was very nice meeting you. Don't promise you'll call if you have no intention of doing so. Whether you want a second date or not, get back to the shadchan as quickly as possible. That is very important. I see that sometimes people are very tardy in getting back to the shadchan. The other side is frustrated, they're waiting, they're nervous. It's only considered good consideration if you get back to the shadchan right away. And if you're expected to arrange a second date directly, call your date within 24 hours or the shadchan to let them know. So it's very important that if you want your relationship to start on good footing, learn these tips of proper dating etiquette so you can maximize your chances for success. If you need any help in these areas, or in terms of putting a resume together, or you need assistance in terms of understanding if you're in a good relationship, or how to start a great relationship, or how to prepare a top 10 list for a great partner, reach out to me on my cell phone at 305-206-1916, or send me a WhatsApp or a text, and I'll be happy to take care of that for you. Thank you.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.